How ancient alien civilization destroyed on Mars? There are an estimated 100 billion galaxies in the universe, home to an unimaginable abundance of planets. And now there are new ways to spot signs of life on them. A new study reveals how 3.7 billion years ago, life might have started on Mars just like it did on Earth, but after triggering climate change in reverse, i.e., global cooling, ancient Martian microbes destroyed their environment and self-provoked their own extinction. NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory and California Institute of Technology researchers believe that the galaxy might be home to alien civilizations that destroyed themselves through technological advances that eventually lead to complete destruction and biological degeneration. Scientists have always been fascinated with studying the atmosphere and terrain of Mars, but a new NASA laboratory experiment shows that in order to find any traces of alien life, they may have to come up with a new strategy. According to the experiment, the rovers will have to dig at least 6.6 feet or more under the surface of Mars to find any traces of life. That is the level where the rovers can find traces of amino acid, a strong indicator that life existed on the red planet. However, over time, the study believes that any proof of life has been damaged by cosmic rays on Mars. Alexander Pavlov of NASA says our results suggest that amino acids are destroyed by cosmic rays in the Martian surface rocks and regolith at much faster rates than previously thought. Current Mars rover missions drill down to about 2 inches, around 5 centimeters. At those depths, it would take only 20 million years to destroy amino acids completely. The addition of perchlorates and water increases the rate of amino acid destruction even further, he added. Evidence of ancient civilization on Mars. NASA has spent many years seeking the truth regarding extraterrestrial life. Furthermore, the space agency has never denied the existence of non-human life beyond Earth in any form. This is sufficient to discuss the idea of non-human life existing beyond Earth in any form, from the microscopic to the macroscopic. Avi Loeb, a professor at Harvard, has supported the idea that there may have been earlier civilizations on both Earth and Mars. The head of the Galileo project, Avi Loeb, speculated that Mars, which is the main spot for NASA to find the clue to alien life, was once the home to a long-vanished civilization that may have thrived like earthly civilization. According to the most recent study of data from NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, MRO, Mars was rippling with rivers and ponds over the first half of its history. Based on the analogy with Earth, it is conventionally expected that Mars developed microbial life when it lost its atmosphere. In that case, the water on its surface evaporated and left a frozen desert. This study gives thought to Mr. Loeb into believing the possibility that an intelligent life on Mars developed just twice as fast as it did on Earth. There could have been a technologically advanced civilization there a few billion years before humans showed up on Earth. He writes, planets like Mars or Earth could have given multiple births to technological civilizations that were a billion years apart and hence were not aware of each other. Like stable parents, the planets recovered from the environmental impact of these civilizations over time. We may have been separated in time from siblings that we never had the opportunity to meet, and so we are unaware of their existence. Mr. Loeb believes it is possible that some of the technological advancement devices made by early inhabitants of Mars and Earth are still operational elsewhere in the solar system. He suggests that in that case, old flying gadgets could be a source of some of the unidentified aerial phenomena. Professor Loeb is not alone in thinking of the advanced civilization that once inhabited Mars. Physicist John E. Brandenburg explained in this 2015 study what could have happened on Mars. The planet that once had an Earth-like atmosphere faced a massive thermonuclear explosion that destroyed its atmosphere. The study considered the Sidonian hypothesis and Fermi's paradox. NASA, from its inception, expected that artifacts of past intelligent activity might be found in the solar system, though intelligent or semi-intelligent life conceivably exists elsewhere in our solar system. If intelligent extraterrestrial life is discovered in the next 20 years, it will probably be by radio telescope from other solar systems. Evidence of its existence might also be found in artifacts left on the Moon or other planets. In his work, physicist Brandenburg showed that data from 2 Martian sites, Cydonia Mensa and Galaxias Chaos, were studied. This led to the Sidonian hypothesis, which says that there was an ancient, native civilization on Mars around the time of the Bronze Age. Isotopic and gamma-ray data from Mars show that a huge explosion with both fusion and fission took place near Cydonia Mensa. The existence of a dead humanoid civilization on Mars is completely consistent with its apparent long-lived Earth-like past climate and the principle of mediocrity, the idea that humanoid intelligence is not exotic or miraculous, but is a natural consequence of any long-lived Earth-like biosphere. This Martian civilization apparently perished due to a planet-wide catastrophe of unknown origin that changed Mars' climate from being Earth-like to its present state in a brief period compared to geologic time. However, what ended this civilization was a massive nuclear attack. In 2020, 2 rovers from NASA and the European Space Agency, ESA, traveled to Mars to drill horizontally into rocks and deep into the surface, in the hope of finding evidence of living organisms. How ancient alien civilization destroyed on Mars? Similarly to Earth, in the early days of Mars' existence some 3.7 billion years ago, the planet is likely to have been home to ancient microbial organisms that consumed elements from the atmosphere as an energy source. At that time, Mars would have been relatively wet and relatively warm, said the lead author of the study, Boris Satere. It had liquid water in the form of rivers, lakes and maybe oceans on its surface, and would have been between -10 degrees Celsius and 20 degrees Celsius. Advanced alien civilizations did exist at one point, but likely lead themselves to destruction by way of progress. We might not be the sole civilization that exists as living in the galaxy though, as some scientists theorize there might be 36 extraterrestrial races among the stars. Our galaxy might be home to the remains of now-dead alien civilizations. Mars once thrived with developed alien civilizations until a devastating nuclear war wiped out all evidence of life, a former NASA advisor has shockingly claimed. Richard C. Hoagland, a former NASA consultant and conspiracy theorist, strongly believes alien civilizations once existed on Mars and other planets in the solar system. Mr. Hoagland said NASA photos snapped in the Cydonia region of Mars show organized structures, ancient habitats, and pyramids. But the thriving alien civilization, which dominated the Red Planet, was cut short by the destructive power of nuclear warfare. Mr. Hoagland said, some of the craters in the Cydonia region around the face and the pyramids did not look like natural meteoritic impact craters or asteroid impacts. They look like the nuclear explosion test sites in the United States. The civilizations we have been looking at may have been destroyed by a global Martian nuclear war. The theory of nuclear warfare ravaging the surface of Mars comes from high concatenations of radioactive xenon-129 on the planet. However, xenon-129's presence on Mars can be explained by natural processes where cosmic radiation bombarding Mars' paper-thin atmosphere releases the isotope from the planet's surface.